Hey there, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and I have been in the bread baking mode. Today is not quite a bread, but it is a bread product maybe. It goes in the bread category. So recently I have made a, a roasted garlic rosemary focaccia bread. I have done the viral butter croissant Dutch oven bread. I have done, some Outback bread. I have done some gluten-free blueberry and lemon muffins. And today we are going to do a copycat Chik Fil A biscuit. I was trying to think of a yummy restaurant biscuit, and I kind of thought about doing Popeyes, but we decided to go with a Chik Fil A biscuit. So I found a recipe on Pinterest, and I will link it below that I'm following. And let's go ahead and get started making these yummy biscuits. The first thing it says to do is to put your skillet in the oven and melt the butter. I'm just going to skip that step. My oven has something else going in there, and I don't want this butter to burn, so I just smeared the butter all over in my skillet, and we're just going to start it with the butter not melted in the skillet, and maybe it'll absorb it better if it's just melting as it goes. We're just going to try it and see how it goes. So let's get started making these biscuits. It says it's not going to take very many minutes to put it together, and then we'll bake them and taste them. So we'll see. Let's get started. All right, in our bowl, we are going to whisk together our flour and our baking powder. So it calls for self-rising flour in this recipe. I don't have self-rising flour, so we're just going to kind of improvise here. We need 2.5 cups of self-rising flour. So I'm going to do 2.5 cups of my all-purpose flour here. And then to this, to make it self-rising, we're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. This is a 1/2 teaspoon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we also need 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Let me grab my salt. And then on top of our self-rising flour, which is what we just made here, we're going to also add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So more baking powder. 1, 2. All right, that's our dry ingredients there. Whisk these together, and then we're going to use our pastry blender to cut our butter into this. So we need 3/4 a cup of cold butter, and I've cut it into little cubes here. All right, let's cut our butter into this. All right, I think we have our butter cut in there good. Now it says to make a well in the middle. And we have 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, I didn't have buttermilk, you can use a tablespoon of lemon juice to a cup of milk. So that's what I have done. And let's see, add the buttermilk, stir the ingredients until just combined. The batter will be crumbly, turn it out onto a floured surface. So I have the rest of my milk here. Kind of rinse that out. Just use a fork here. Make sure your counter is good and clean when we turn this out. Did I have a little too much buttermilk there? Are we a little too wet? I'm going to add a little bit more flour to this because we're more wet than crumbly. I'm gonna flour my surface here. Let me grab my biscuit cutter real quick. All right. We're just going to do the fold and press method here to incorporate that extra flour. That'll kind of give us the flaky, textury, layered biscuit. All right, we're going to press this out. We'll fold it over into thirds. And then press it out again. And then I have my biscuit cutter here. Mine's actually a little fluted. I don't know if this is maybe just a cookie cutter. You want to go straight down. You don't want to twist it because when you twist it, it closes up the sides and doesn't allow it to puff up as much as it would. So you want to make sure you don't twist, go straight down. Just going to reshape it, cut out some more. All right, let me rinse my hands real quick. All right, so this is what we're looking at, and we're going to get these in the oven, and we're going to bake them on 450 degrees for 13 to 16 minutes, it says, and then we're going to baste the tops with butter when it comes out. All right, let me get this in the oven and get this all cleaned up. All right, let's get these in the oven. And let me just verify the baking time here. 13 to 16 minutes. I put 16, so let me change that and we'll be back when it's time to butter them up. Okay, y'all, here they are. Don't they look yummy? Let's give these a try. I don't think I'm even going to baste them with butter because I think they were kind of swimming in butter for part of the baking time. I think that's enough. So let's give these a try. Okay, which one do we want to pull out? Let's just get this smaller one here. You can see the bottom is all crispy on the bottom. I think I'm gonna move this out of the way because I don't want to accidentally touch it. I've already got a burn on my hand. So I'm gonna move this back to the stove top. We're gonna split this open. Oh, it's so soft, y'all. And I have the butter sitting here, but I don't think I'm gonna add butter. I think I'm just gonna add my raspberry preserves. Oh, it smells, gosh, y'all, the smell. I guess I can raspberry it all. My husband will eat the rest of it. It is so soft, y'all, so soft. This may be the best biscuit I have ever made. I'm gonna use a fork because it's so hot. It literally just came out of the oven, you saw it. Y'all, this is so good. I'm gonna do a test on here since Chik Fil A makes these as a breakfast sandwich. I know it's gonna be hot, but I'm gonna see how it holds up to me actually picking it up with my hand so I can eat it as a sandwich. And look at that, y'all. Even though it is so soft, the bottom is a little crispy, it holds up to me picking it up. I'm gonna have to get another bite. I hope you give this recipe a try. I'm gonna leave my whole bread playlist on this side. If you want to check out some other bread items I have made, I have, like I said, in the bread baking mood lately. If you haven't followed along yet and subscribed, I'm gonna put my logo right here, and you can touch that and hit subscribe very easily. And we hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.